Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just give a couple minutes to let people fall in from the other talks. We have a fabulous talk here, Achieving Revenue Targets Through Experimentation at AI Scale, with Steve Bamberger, the President and Chief Operating Officer at evolv.ai. Steve, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you. Okay? If you want to share your slides now.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful, thanks. My name is Steve Bamberger. I'm Operating Officer of Evolv Technologies. I'm so pleased to be presenting at AI4 2020. This conference allows us to share not only the latest AI technologies, but also the real-world problems that AI is uniquely suited to solve. About one of those real-world problems, how to optimize the digital experience to drive revenue growth. Digital channels are supposed to be the growth engines for business, especially now. But when we talk to digital leaders, they're telling us that the targets are daunting. They're under pressure to deliver huge numbers. They're spending tons of money on Facebook and Google to drive traffic, but that traffic is just not resulting in sales. Forrester says that if you improve the digital experience, you can improve conversion rates by 4x. So businesses try to improve that experience. They start with their current website, or we call that A. They change something about the design that they guess might result in a better outcome, and they call that B. And they run a test that hopefully points the way to a better experience. But that approach has not gotten more customers to hit the buy button. When you're deep in that world of traditional testing, it's easy to imagine the customer experience as a choice between A or B, except that what customers are actually seeing isn't just the few tweaks that change between A or B. It's nearly limitless variations in millions of possible experiences that you might choose. And in addition to that, the environment is constantly changing. Let me explain. When building digital experiences, you have a complex set of choices to make to convert your visitors. Those choices can include visual design considerations, site navigation, copywriting, search functionality, imagery, and everything else that goes into the look and feel of your experience. In addition, the ideal experience changes over time. So your competitors launch introductory offers, your products change, you enter the summer season. You can continue to feed that A/B testing beast and trying to solve these massively parallel business problems with traditional methods. But we all know what Einstein said about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. The digital experience has nearly limitless variation. To find the one that gets your customer to hit the buy button, you're looking for a needle in the haystack, or maybe a needle in a Raiders of the Lost Ark grade set of haystacks, because each audience is different and every day is different. Businesses are looking for that needle that gets the customer to hit the buy button, and this requires them to find the best solution across virtually infinite variations and against a backdrop of constant change. That is inherently an AI scale problem. Let's look at a real-world example of leveraging AI scale to improve user experience. My example here is a telecom company trying to improve the purchase flow for a new phone and cellular plan. First, we have to define a search space of possible user experiences. In this case, we've identified 8 different changes we'll make. Those changes include navigation changes, like how many pages there are in the checkout flow, functional changes like the sort order of items in the shopping cart, and visual changes like the design of the checkout button. Across these 8 changes, we've distributed a total of 25 ideas, variations from control. When you look at the combination of these ideas, you realize that we're not comparing two experiences of A and B. We're going to be navigating a search space of over 62,000 different experiences. That's what I mean by the haystack, and that's what I mean when I say this is inherently an AI scale problem. Let's see AI in action. The first thing we're going to do is serve experiences that are drawn from the initial individual ideas and from ideas in combination. We're using the customer's response to those experiences to train the machine learning model. When a customer buys, that's positive feedback. When a customer doesn't, that's negative. By training the machine learning model, we can also predict how new combinations of ideas will perform. That allows us to make incredibly efficient use of time and traffic. This approach gives digital businesses several advantages. First, you can be bolder and more innovative and more creative in exploring new ideas because you have the capacity to explore them. Second, you're far more efficient in the use of time and traffic, devoting more traffic to exploring the best ideas and less traffic to exploring ideas that are known poor. Third, you're adaptive to change. So imagine that most visitors to your site are millennials and Generation Xers. All of a sudden, you're hit with a global pandemic and baby boomers become 30% of your traffic. AI helps you sense and adapt to this change. And lastly, AI technologies improve business in real time. My company, Evolv Technologies, have seen customers achieve tens of millions of dollars in annualized gains in a matter of a few weeks. That's what this is all about, leveraging innovation to drive business growth. And it turns out that AI is an ideal technology to optimize complex digital experiences and ultimately to get more customers to hit that buy button. I'd be happy to take your questions. Spencer, I'm not sure if you're moderating. All right, I see one question coming in. What does it cost for existing companies to leverage this? So for us, the cost is really determined by the size of the company and the amount of optimization you're doing. It's a great question. There's not one size fits all answer, but certainly customers can get started, and the ROI is really where we focus, and the ROI is tremendous. The turnaround time, and I see another question, the turnaround time to see ROI. The way that we scale is we want to deliver ROI within the first 30 days of an optimization, or I should say to hone in on a presumptive best experience within 30 days of when we launch an optimization. So it's really very quick. Very often you're looking at material improvements in the single and double digit percentage points over the original experience within just a couple of weeks. Do we have examples of this working to drive actual growth? Yeah, so many. One of the examples that inspired my test case here around a telecom business flow, one of our customers has achieved in the tens of millions of dollars of return, and sometimes in the tens of millions of dollars of return on a single optimization. We have one of our customers in Europe. They are a travel and tourism company that has been ironically unaffected by COVID, but they doubled their amount of sales. There's so many of these stories. I'd love to share them individually. Another question that I see here is this some startups, early stage companies can and should consider? In general, we're looking at companies that have a certain minimum traffic flow. You do need a certain amount of traffic simply to drive any kind of statistical conclusion, whether that's A/B testing or AI-driven optimization. We generally say that we'd like to see most customers with something in the order of 1 million monthly active users to take full advantage of the power of AI for ongoing optimization. But one of the things that we think that AI does differently is with that same amount of traffic, we're exploring tens, dozens, hundreds, thousands of alternative experiences instead of a simple A/B test, because we're not worried about testing every possible experience to statistical significance. One of the benefits AI gives us is the ability to not waste traffic on poor ideas, so we're able to cover a lot of ground. I'm conscious of the time. Let's see. Other questions? I do see a question. Ed, you've sent me a question that says, how do we present all these changes in line? I'd love to answer that. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. The way that the technology works, though, is simply hooks into the existing website or mobile application through an integration interface, and will render back the experiences that we've crafted. So the way that we approach the problem at Evolv is as a total solution, working with our customers to go really from front to back. So to identify those areas that conflict with the KPI that you're trying to optimize for, whether that's number of customers who purchase, number of customers who subscribe, whatever that business KPI that's meaningful, and what the areas of the existing digital experience are that cause friction or customer drop-off, then to do sort of a special, our unique brand of ideation, which is really ideation at AI scale, to conceive of the broad search space that I showed you earlier, of tens of thousands of different experiences, and then be able to launch, manage, and monitor those experiences and build on them over time, so that when there are another one of the ideas is new ideas that you can bring to bear into existing flows. I realize that I'm almost out of time here, so that's all the questions I can take. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I'd love to hear ideas and feedback. Please feel free to contact me.